In today's video, we will show you a bit of a recovery session. Everyone knows that after playing sport intensively or after going through an intense workout, you sometimes need to do a lot of stuff to get your body to recover quicker. Today I'm here with Morgan.
Hi, I'm Morgan.
For everyone that doesn't know, Morgan actually has multiple degrees and certificates in sports science and body and physiology and massage now. She should be very smart.
Thanks.
She also has a YouTube channel, so check Morgan's YouTube channel out. Morgan, tell us what we're gonna do today.
So we're gonna talk about how to recover properly and talk about maybe what is injured on your body currently.
Yeah, sure.
And why things hurt and how to help them.
And how to make them, prevent them hurting in the future. And you said you're gonna interview me about, what hurts in my body.
Right.
Okay, so shall we start with that?
Yeah, do you wanna do that? Okay.
Cool.
So Vlad, what is hurting on your body right now?
Everything.
And can you be more specific?
The body.
Can you give me some bullet points?
Some bullet points. My head, my neck, my chest, my abs, my back again, my upper legs, my lower legs, what's in between the upper and lower legs, my feet, and what's between my lower feet and my feet.
Okay, so jokes aside, you really should analyze someone who has a lot of injuries or things or pain that are giving them troubles in their body. So,
but you should also analyze, I guess, yourself. If you can't afford going somewhere, you should think, okay, well, I guess my shoulder hurts.
What do I do about it?
Yeah, be more careful with my shoulder. Yeah.
What's the pain? How bad is it? Does it hurt when I do certain movements? Kind of that sort of thing. So the most important thing to understand is the difference between an injury and being in pain or sore.
Okay.
So understanding for you and as an individual, you need to understand what it feels like when you have an injury, as opposed to this is just a sore muscle or this is just a restricted movement from maybe a tight muscle or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So the best way probably to decide is the type of pain. So when a doctor asks you if you have shooting pain or if you have stabbing pain or if it's a dull pain or if it's a tightness pain, the best way to know if it's an injury is more like if it's a stabbing pain. That would be more commonly of an injury. Vlad, you have a lot of injuries.
I think we don't know if we have enough time for that much in the video. Let's talk about my shoulder. I think the shoulder is a good thing to talk about. A lot of people struggle with shoulder injuries. There's a lot of people that work out. Most sports people struggle with shoulder injuries. So let's just talk about my shoulder injury. So my shoulder, right shoulder.
So you're right hand dominant, which means that a lot of injuries are going to come from your right side. And the shoulder is a joint that bends only in certain ways, and it shouldn't bend in all of the directions. And sometimes we let it go too far in a lot of movements, which cause more injuries. So what is your pain? Where is your pain on your shoulder? So
I would say that it's not, sometimes it's a pain, but most of the time I just feel like a bit of extra pressure around, inside the back area. So if we could show it on the camera, is that okay? Yeah. So around here, in there.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna ask you, what's the type of pain?
I guess the best, from what you listed, I would ask it, describe it as a dull pain.
Right. So
that's not a pain now. It's dull now. If I use it or when I'm playing a game,
it feels inflamed, almost hot.
It feels like it's stabbing then.
Okay. So what I would mostly do about this kind of pain, if it's more in the dead center of a muscle or something like that, I would attribute it to another muscle, because your muscles are connected, and if one muscle is pulling another direction, it has to pull the other one with it. So if I just kind of press on your shoulder, what I would say about this injury is, since it's on a lateral side, something is pulling obviously immediately the wrong way. So if you think about what muscles are on your back and your shoulder, what muscles are medial to this lateral side?
Yes.
You don't? Okay. No, that's fine. So basically, you have your trap muscle right here. Yep. Connects into your shoulder, as well as your lat muscle. These are your interiors to this lateral muscle over here. And what I would say is, do you have any tenderness in this muscle up here?
It feels a bit tight.
It does feel tight. Okay. So what happens is, if your back muscles are tight, it's automatically going to pull, sit up straight, pull back. which then is obviously going to stress your front muscles. I'm trying to use as little anatomical terminology as possible, which then just creates more problems. So the best thing to do, obviously, is a warm-up before any activity with a shoulder.
This video is for post recovery, yeah?
Yes, but I'm just saying preventative. And for a post recovery for a shoulder is obviously the best thing is icing and rest. And you can apply massage. That's one of my favorite things to tell people.
But if we do not have massage,
right?
Can we take out the torture machines?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so for warm-ups and things like that, you can check Morgan's channel out, probably for future videos and accommodation ask her on her channel. Eventually, exactly. But for now, let's take a look at the torture machine. That's what my mom calls it. This is a foam roller, or what we know it as, what you do, the only thing you do in gym when you're injured. I've had a lot of injuries. This is, I know this looks very weird, but this is a massage ball. And I would suggest that when you no longer feel the effects of a foam roller, at least that's from my experience, you go down in size, like you go for smaller, more stiffer things like the massage ball, because for me personally, it goes in deeper in my muscles and between my tendons and stuff. Like what do you use usually? A golf ball you suggested for some sort of massages?
So some smaller muscles, like at the bottom of your feet, I use a golf ball, because a lot of problems come from the bottom of our feet, because we're on our feet usually most of the day, and it breaks up all of like the lactic acid and the buildup and gunk, I guess is the best word, or something like that, stand outside like that, and be able to release all the little muscles in your feet, to release all the little muscles in your calves, all the way up your legs.
Cool, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna do a bit of like stretching and rolling for my shoulder and the back of my right side, I guess, right? So I would usually start by, first of all, trying just briefly for a few seconds rolling all of my back, because usually if you have an injured part, you don't want to overwork that part, so you want to like be balanced on both sides, right? So I would warm up my back with this kind of movement. You'll hear a bit of cracking, I guess. I do a bit of neck movement as well.
Important when you're rolling your back is to always engage your core so you don't throw out your lower back.
I do that for a few, like 20-40 seconds. Depends, you can do it up to like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. For me it's not necessarily, because I've kind of done it a lot of times and I'm looser now. And then I go to something that I taught you how to do. So I don't know how to show this best for camera, so I'll try like this.
It was fine.
Just on one arm, in a sense, this is our back muscle. Like this is, you'll feel your, what is it called, the omoplata?
Your rib cage?
No, Morgan. The one that moves.
Yeah, your shoulder blades.
Okay,
your scapula.
So the shoulder blade, you can feel it if you touch your under armpit right here, and you try to extend as much as possible, and you put your shoulder blade, or under your shoulder blades, you put on the foam roller, and then you roll up and down onto your shoulder blade, and then back down again. Ooh, this is really tight.
It's probably gonna be really painful.
Yeah. So I would suggest definitely starting with a softer foam roller. The one I have is really not that soft. Oh. And then at one point you start working your way up the shoulder towards your like back deltoid, I guess. And what I've noticed that it helps me doing after a while to get the blood flowing through my shoulder and arm, I just maybe play a bit with the arm so the blood keeps flowing through it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And breathe like Vlad is.
Yeah, never forget to breathe. That's very important in life in general. And then after, this is gonna be painful, you can use the ball. Do you want to try to help me with this?
Yeah, I can do it facing that way. Maybe and see. I think you would use a wall. You could get up against.
You could use a wall. I could use the floor as well, right?
Yeah, but I guess we can show him where to put it.
Yeah. So
if your arm's up, you want to. Okay, as you can see, kind of, he has these wings up in here. You want to take it and roll it through underneath, around, potentially up, but not too high. You don't want to roll over a bone. and down, and back up. And this is one of a lot of athletes have a tender area coming from an insertion point of their upper arm down the back through their lat to it's just a very sensitive area. So be very careful, and it's probably going to use a lot of work before it gets better.
And also you can do again with the ball, like you do with the foam roll on the ground, we lost it. You can put it kind of here, and this is what works, correct me if I'm wrong, your rotator cuff. Like if you go like deep down inside here.
Yes, yeah, you did bring it up. So he's rolling just above.
Sure.
It's in your supraspinatus.
Exactly. So for people that have questions, it's literally up behind your back.
Above your shoulder blades. So stick your shoulder blades out, so sit up straight. So right here we can see a shoulder blade, and it's going to be the muscle that's on top of the shoulder blade.
And that's how you roll your shoulder, I guess, for recovery. Any stretches you could recommend? I mean, any for people that might not know some stretches?
A common one you can do is just against the wall and bringing your shoulder back behind and leaning forward like this. If you have a door frame, you can grab the ends of the door frame and sit back.
What about the casual ones? This one or this one?
Yes, I would be very careful with those. Just because people don't do them properly anyways, and it becomes too common of a movement that it doesn't actually stretch anymore.
That makes sense, yeah.
So, and obviously any movement above your head, please don't fling your arms, like you just have to be very careful in the rotation of where your shoulders are going.
So that's your shoulder recovery post-workout.
Or pre.
Thank you, Morgan, for your help. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, turn notification on twice, subscribe to Morgan's channel. Stay hydrated.
Bye.